Hello, everybody, and welcome today to RE Technologies, RETechinar. We're really excited about what we're going to be talking about today, the game changer for real estate agents and brokers, and a way to tap into power e-prospecting in a way that I think you're all going to be really excited to hear about today. And it's being brought to us today by HomeActions. They're a really interesting company that does some things that are very, very powerful and much more effective than other people do in online marketing. So first, let me introduce who's going to be on the call today. I am going to be moderating. I'm Marilyn Wilson, and I'm one of the co-founders of RE Technology and also one of the founding partners of the Wave Group. We're a consulting firm in the industry, so we're going to be working today with Lee. And Lee Sowers is going to be the star of our show today. He's the Senior VP of Sales and Marketing in HomeActions and has a really interesting background and a lot of reality perspective I think you guys can relate to. He in past lives, was been the Senior VP of Sales and Marketing in a mortgage area. Then he also managed a large commercial division for Prudential Real Estate in New Jersey. And then he was a director of business development for Keller Williams. So he's had a lot of different experiences and has sat in your shoes trying to figure out ways to grow his business and grow the number of leads and nurture relationships with clients. So he'll be a great one to talk to today. So let's just jump right into it. Let's go to the next slide. And we'll just talk about it a little bit again. This is all about trying to find interesting and powerful and engaging ways to build stronger relationships with your clients over time, because we all know that people don't buy in 10 minutes. They need to be nurtured and warmed up and educated, and that's what HomeActions is really designed to do, is to help you do that in a very professional, effective, and trackable way. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lee, and he's going to take us through. Go for it, Lee.
Okay, thank you, Marilyn. Do you have the slides up on your screen?
Yes.
All right. I wanted to thank everyone for being here today. My name is Lee Sowers. I'm from HomeActions. I wanted to keep two questions foremost in your mind as we walk through this presentation on Power e-prospecting. The first question is, what would it mean to you, to the agents in your office, and to your business if they each received 12 more warm listings this year? And the second question is, what would it mean for each of your agents and you in your office if they took an additional listing this year? We'd like you to keep those top of mind as we go through this. To learn how and why Power e-prospecting works, we first have to review the market. Next slide, please. As you see, the National Association of Realtor ads, they've been running a lot of those on TV and in print. They end them up by saying, contact your local realtor. That's very important. The National Association of Realtors research would tell you that the realtor that gets that first call, that first contact, has a very good chance of picking up the listing or working with the buyer to a conclusion of a sale. So in order to get that call, your agents must stay top of mind in their sphere of influence and become a go-to realtor in their market, and they can do that by using Power e-prospecting. Next slide. Let's look at some facts about today's competitive market. The average homeowner knows 7 or more realtors. It means there's a lot of competition. Only 24% of buyers or sellers will use the same agent again when it comes time to get back in the market to buy or sell. That's usually because the agents over the years in between transactions have lost contact with them. 95% of buyers and sellers are not going to visit the agent's website this week, this month, or even this year. That's because companies like Zillow and Trulia are spending hundreds of millions of dollars to own that part of the market. And only 2% of the people are actually in the market buying or selling their home at any given point in time. That means a lot of the marketing that agents do directed toward getting your house ready to sell, having the home inspectors in, how to pack for moving, that's fine for the 2% that are moving, but it's lost on the 98% that aren't. Next slide, please. In addition to the market, I want to look at some facts about email marketing. It's true, email marketing has a higher rate of return than either traditional snail mail Agents love to send out just listed, just sold postcards. It has a higher rate of return than social media. I know a lot of agents are still working to get their social media marketing campaigns together and effective. It also is much more efficient than cold calling. We know how agents love to make the cold calls. It's another fact. The top producers in our industry all have an organized database that they can use for their email marketing and prospecting. Agents that use fluff for content, grandma's cookie recipe, those sort of articles, they get tuned out and unsubscribed. And due to the canned spam laws, when you get unsubscribed, you're dead on arrival. You can't email market or prospect to those people anymore. Next slide. Let's look in detail at the challenges that realtors face when they try and embark on an email prospecting campaign. We know crazy schedules. They all have crazy, unpredictable schedules. That doesn't allow them the time to do this consistently and effectively. Most agents have a lot of trouble coming up with consistently compelling content, so they use fluff and end up getting unsubscribed. A lot of agents are not PC savvy. Some of them have company-provided programs that do this, but not being technical wizards, they can't navigate those programs to get good results out of them. A lot of agents don't even have a comprehensive email contact database. As we've visited numbers of offices, we've found that on average, less than 3 in 10 agents have all of their email contacts in one cleaned and deduped database. And last but not least, agents don't have a plan to integrate social media marketing and their email prospecting efforts into one comprehensive, combined, and effective marketing strategy. With no plan, no content, no consistency, their email prospecting campaigns slow to a trickle, then they become a drip, and then they stop completely. Next slide. What's the solution? The solution is what agents need is something that they can easily use, which consistently keeps them in touch and on top of mind with their entire sphere of influence. It portrays them as an expert, trusted advisor to homeowners. That makes them the go-to realtor. That means they get that call in their market when people want to enter the market. We call that solution HomeActions Power e-prospecting. Next slide. HomeActions is an effective, efficient, easy. I underlined easy. I'll explain why as we go through the presentation. It's an easy solution for using email prospecting to stay top of mind in your sphere of influence, to become a go-to realtor in your market area, generate more leads, and if the agent is effective and proactive in following up on those leads, get more listings, buyers, and sales. And the best news is your agents don't have to be computer whizzes to make it work. Next slide. Does it really work? We all know that realtors don't like to spend money on things that are not producing results. We have over 4,500 Raving Fan Realtors nationally that continue to come back and use us month after month. You might recognize some of the top companies in the country here, and this is one of the things we have that will indicate that it really works. In addition to this, the recommendation of our Raving Fans, we have actual tracking and ROI reports, which I'll show you later in the presentation, so agents can prove to themselves the return they're getting with the product. Next slide. Before you can talk about email marketing, email prospecting, you've heard me mention a database. That's the fundamental foundation that you need to make it work. You've got to have that database before you can get started, and recall only 3 in 10 agents have that. Properly built and maintained database becomes an agent's most valuable asset. Many agents fail to appreciate that. They fail to nurture it, maintain it, and grow it. They should be, because it truly is their biggest asset in the business. Next slide. So the first thing we do before we get into discussion of content or all the other services we provide is our Organize IT service. There's a group of professionals that we have that helps agents build their database. The average agent has email contacts in over 6 different locations. On their Facebook, their LinkedIn, their iPhone, their iPad, their local MLS, perhaps a company database where they track contacts and listings. We work with the agent directly on the phone. We sit with them and we help them pull all of the email contacts from their Facebook, LinkedIn, iPhone, MLS. We help them download them. We combine them together. We dedupe them. We do something that's called a ping test. For those of you that are email marketers, you'll know that means we verify that it's an active, valid email and not spam. And we give the agent back a clean, deduped, comprehensive database. We have many people sign up for just this service. It comes with every subscription. It's a huge advantage to the agents. And just wanted to make clear, that database belongs to the agent. It's not shared with their broker, manager, corporate, and we don't use it, rent it, share it, or give those names to anybody else. It's kept under lock and key, so it's completely safe and secure. Next slide, please. In addition to helping them build the database, in terms of HomeActions, all of the agent's contacts are exclusive. What does that mean? I'll give you my personal email, leesow@AOL. Marilyn, if you were to sign up for HomeActions and you have leesow@AOL as one of your email contacts in your HomeActions database, no other agent in your office, not your office manager, not your brand, or any other agency in the country can email HomeActions to leesow@AOL.com. We give you that protection. It's based, by the way, the little note there on the date of when you sign up and upload your list. And as long as you stay a member, you have that exclusive protection. It insulates your prospect pipeline. It helps your office, if your agents upload their emails, it helps your office dominate your market, and it protects you from competing agencies in your area. Next slide. Now that we've created a database and your agents have something to market to, what we do is use our compelling content to portray them as expert homeowners advisors. Remember, 2% of the population is moving, 98% isn't. We work to the 98% that's not in moving mode. We portray the agent as a trusted homeowner advisor. I'm not going to read all the topics here, but these are things that homeowners are interested in. They love the content. We get a lot of feedback from homeowners. We get high open rates because this content is something that relates to homeowners, helps solve their problems, helps address issues they have, and is very compelling. It keeps them coming back and back. Next slide, please. How do we deliver that? We deliver the compelling content in a newsletter, an e-newsletter that's actually delivered as an active web page. We take your branding, your company, your office, your picture, your contact information. We combine it with our compelling content, and we call that our secret sauce for your success. If you notice on this page, we have Charles. We have all his contact information. Next to that, there's room for up to 6 links. These are active links to his website, his bio, his listings, special community information he may have, possibly even vendors like mortgage companies that he may want to link to that he does business with. Right under his branding, you'll see the logos for Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We tie it right into his social media. Under the branding, we have articles. What you're seeing here is not an article. The 4 equity-boosting, money-saving fall home projects, the little 3-line paragraph, that's called the lead-in paragraph. Right under that, you'll see circled full article. Again, this is delivered as an active web page. In order to read that full article, which is several good pages of good content, you need to click on the full article. By having you click that, we can tell every person that receives Charles's newsletter exactly what articles they're reading. That's important in the tracking that we'll get to. As you see to the right of that line, I also have circled share article. By one click, you can put in your friend, your brother, sister, mother, father's email address and share this article with them. When the article is shared, all the agent's branding goes with it. Again, this is how you get out there and go viral. You start by mailing it to 100 people. 150 people may end up seeing it. So again, we mail every 2 weeks with your branding, with our content, and optionally, we even give you the option to add your content. If you choose to add articles, they would appear right under your name and your branding. What are great things to put in here as an article? How about a virtual tour of your latest listing, or your open house, or even local market reports? This is all very compelling information. Mentioned earlier that 95% of the people were not going to go to the agent's websites. Well, here you go. Put their open houses, put their virtual tours right in the My Content section and bring it to them. Bring it to their entire sphere of influence and see how their leads and business picks up. Next slide, please. Wanted to show you what the entire newsletter looks like. It's much more than 2 articles. Here you can see our full strategy laid out. We have your branding. We have your content optional. The agent doesn't have to put them in. They can just rely on our professionally written content every 2 weeks. They don't have to add anything. But boy, if they do choose to add their own, it makes it much more powerful. And in addition, we give you hyper-local content. This is a great vehicle for keeping in front of the sphere of influence, for getting them top of mind, for having people think of them when they want to make that call to a realtor. We actually do a lot more than that. Next slide. In our content strategy, we have 2 categories you'll see here under your content, trigger content and target categories. I want to direct your attention on the right of this page to the target categories. These are specially pre-defined categories with pre-written articles written by professionals in the business in different categories such as urban, luxury, retirement homes, seasonal and vacation homes. We can even go in, if your office serves a specialized market, and we can create a custom content category or categories for your office. What does this do? This allows, with a series of clicks, for an agent to go in and customize their newsletter for their specific market, target their niches in that market, and again, show the people that are getting this that they're really on top of their personal market. Next slide. In addition, this is one of our most popular features. Agents are going crazy over this one. You can see some articles I have up here. 5 critical questions to ask a realtor before you buy a home. 9 ways to save for a down payment. These, again, are pre-written articles that we have that the agent can select. I have to tell you, if somebody's reading 9 ways to save for a down payment, chances are they're going to get in the market pretty soon. And we know the first realtor to them probably is going to get the business. So you simply check the alert. What that does, you see down in the bottom right corner, this is a sample email. Every time somebody opens and reads that article that you've checked as a trigger article, you get an email alert that tells the agent who read it, when they read it, etc., and you can follow up on it. This is a gold-mine way to generate more warm leads. In addition, we allow the agent to flag any of the articles they put in. So if they put in the virtual tour of their latest listing, their open house this coming weekend, some local market reports, they can flag those to also get the trigger email alert. What do? You see the 3 people went in and read about your newest listing and walked through the virtual tour this morning. You get a hold of them and say, can I arrange a special showing? This is a very powerful lead generation tool that agents love. Next slide, please. In addition, we want to tie this in with the agent's social media marketing. A lot of agents have LinkedIn pages, Facebook pages. They're having trouble getting maximum use out of that. So we tie it in with links right on your branding here. Not only that, but you see in the center of the page, we now include a social media sign-up page. What is that? Let's go to the next slide, and I'll tell you about that. Here we have a gentleman from Coldwell Banker. We have his Coldwell Banker website page. It could also be his LinkedIn page and or his Facebook page. You see the little blue button on the bottom? People go in, visit his website, his Facebook, his LinkedIn, click on the button. Next slide, please. And what does that do? That takes them to a sign-up page where they can get a subscription to his HomeActions. This way, all those visitors going to your LinkedIn, going to your Facebook, have an opportunity to sign up online for your HomeActions and be added to your database. Very key feature for building that database. Again, a key asset. Next slide, please. In addition to social media, we know that local content gets the attention of realtors in their local market area. So we allow you to add various reports. If your office has the RPR reports or market leader reports or even local MLS reports, you can add them. You see this young lady from Coldwell Banker has the RPR, again, right under her branding, right under her picture. It's very powerful for keeping you local and in the local market. We have a local events calendar. This is zip code driven. The agent does not need to add anything. It pulls up the local events within a 100-mile radius from whatever zip code is put in. People love to go on this, look at it, see what's happening this weekend. And you ask yourself, why would I want to put this in my real estate newsletter? The reason you want to put it there is because you want people in your sphere of influence living in your newsletter, not going online and having to walk through Zillow or Trulia or the local entertainment online. The more we can keep them coming back to your newsletter, having your branding in front of them, the more you're likely to get that call when they get in the market. Next slide, please. Another special feature we have to keep things hyper-local for agents is our Know the Neighborhood feature. This, again, is zip code driven. All somebody does is put in a zip code. It brings up all the statistical information about the demographics, the schools, the population changes, the average home prices. One of the most difficult questions we face as a realtor is, how is the neighborhood changing? What are the demographics like? You have to be very careful how you answer that. Now what people can do is direct them to your HomeActions and say, that's a great question. Let me sign you up for my HomeActions, and you can get all the demographic information on every neighborhood you're looking at. I have to tell you, this is one of our most read articles. It appears in every issue. The information is constantly updated. What happens is a person receives it, sends it to their mother, father, brother, sister, and says, hey, Dad, look at how your neighborhood's changing. This is a very widely read article. And again, it helps people go viral because it gets forwarded from friend to friend to friend and allows you to compete directly with Zillow and Trulia and the big guys out there that are outspending the individual agents. Next slide. We've helped build your database. We've given you some powerful content to keep you top of mind. Now the question is, does it work? We have very detailed open and click tracking reports. I mentioned you had to click to see the full article. As you all know about web tracking, that allows us to see everything that's going on with your newsletter. You can see how many were received, how many were bounced, how many opened, which articles were read, how many times they were read. So an agent doesn't need to take our word for it. An agent can go in and actually see the ROI they're getting. Not only do they get those warm lead email alerts, they have a full dashboard. These are real-time statistics. They can go in here anytime and see what's going on. It mails this morning. They can go on this afternoon and see how many people read it and look at the results. We know that measuring success is key. Let's go to the next slide. So we've developed some special reports here for agents. We do monthly reporting on their results, not only in isolation to them, and this just shows a fraction of a report, but compared to the rest of the people in their office and compared to their brand. For example, RE/MAX, Century 21, Coldwell Banker. The top section here, and I've taken off some of the names, it shows you a section of that report that would allow an agent to see how they're doing. And the bottom of the page, even more important for the people on this call, that allows the broker to see how the agents are doing in their office. Each row on there would be a different agent and their statistics. I've taken the names off just to be discreet. but you would see how each agent in your office is doing. We have something new. We call it a DMZ score, or a Digital Marketing Z-score. It takes weighted factors of various issues, such as the number of members they have in their database, the number of people that open and read their home actions, and the number of warm email alerts they have, and it computes a DMZ score, essentially to let you, the broker, know how effectively the people in your market, in your office, are marketing into their area. Very powerful information. Next slide. None of this, the database, the content, the things they can add, are of any value if an agent doesn't use it. We talked before about agents not being PC whizzes. A lot of them are a little afraid of some of the modern technology. That's no problem. I'm not a PC whiz myself. We have what we call Raving Fans customer support. Our people are the whizzes. We're there to handhold agents through every step. We're actually available from 9 a.m., 9 p.m. Eastern time, that is, every day of the week, 7 days of the week. If you're out at that open house on a Sunday and you want to do some work on your home actions, you call up our support center. You get that hand-holding support. What do we help you do? We already talked about we'll help you create your database. Not only will we help you create the database, but as you go downstream with the product and you add more names in the future, you want to update all the contacts from your Facebook or LinkedIn again, we'll help you import the files to keep that database updated and growing. We upload your lists. We'll help you and show you how to add new members. Agents can do this from their own dashboard one at a time. You went to an open house this afternoon. You collected 10 business cards. We'll show you how to come home and put those new members in. We'll show you how to add content. It's very easy to do, but we're not going to leave the agent struggling on their own. We'll show you how to put in that virtual tour. We'll show you how to do an RPR report. We'll show you how to put in some local market data so that you can relate to the people right in your market. We'll walk you through once, twice, as many times as it takes so that you're good at doing it, so the agent's comfortable with doing it, because we want you to use the product. It's no good if they don't use it. And last but not least, we'll help you analyze those metrics. We showed you all the tracking reports. We'll help you analyze them. Not only the agents, but you brokers. We'll walk through the reports, tell you what that means for the agents in your office, tell you how you can work with them to increase their DMZ score, to be more effective at getting leads and listings out of the system. What we're aiming for is to turn everyone into a raving fan. We're doing a pretty good job because, remember, we have over 4,500 of them. Next slide, please. Getting results, what to expect. It is very key that we set the proper expectations, both to you and to your agents, as they would sign up for the program. There are two ways to work the program. You can set it and forget it. What does that mean? That means you can subscribe to the program. You can take 20, 30, 40 minutes to work online with our support to get all your names in your database uploaded and built. And then you can literally forget it. Because even if you add nothing, we'll write those professional articles and mail every 2 weeks with your branding, your name, to your sphere of influence, to that database we created, so that you get out there, you let it run on autopilot. This is perfect for drip email campaigns, perfect for agents that don't have a lot of time, but allows them to stay top of mind with their entire sphere of influence to build their brand. By the way, if you remember at the top of the newsletter, which we call the masthead, your office address and your office logo is going with it. So every time one of your agents mails one of these, they're branding your office. If you have 20 agents, each mailing 100 of these a month, that means they only have 50 people in their database because it goes out twice a month. So just 50 people in the database, each agent sending 100 out a month, 20 in your office. That's 2,000 impressions you're making on your local market, added up for a year. That's 24,000 over a year. Now let's say you had an office with 40 agents and they had our average, which runs to over 400 names in there. 40 agents, 400 names, twice a month. you can see what a huge branding impact you're having on your local market area. And remember, due to email exclusivity, the people in that market area are only seeing this HomeActions from you and your agents. But let's talk about what I like to call the power user, the proactive user. They're the one that's going to go out and actively seek out new contacts to put into their database. They're going to put in the content. They're going to get that virtual tour in. They're going to find out information about the local market and put that in the My Content section. They're going to go in and actively, for each issue, look through our target categories such as urban, luxury, retirement, so they can tailor the message to their specific market. And then they're going to flag articles as trigger articles so that they get that alert and can follow up on the warm leads. When they do that, they're a proactive power user. If they do that, back to the beginning, this is where they're going to generate at least 12 warm leads in a year. They do that, they're going to get more listings, buyers, and sales, and they're going to maximize the value of that database, which is their most important asset. Next slide, please. The theme I've been working on here is it's no good if you buy it but don't use it. So to support the proactive users, we go even further. We have how-to webinars. We have both live webinars and on-demand videos covering all the different topics that an agent could want to see on how to get the most out of their home actions. We have Home Actions Happening, which is using our own platform to give tips, techniques, stories, ideas, best practices on how to email market and email prospect. And that comes out to everyone that's a subscriber. Again, our focus is on raving fans, not only getting agents to buy it, which so many other companies do. Here, buy it, test it, try it, and then they walk away. We stick with them and handhold them, so we have extremely high adoption rates. Next slide. I put a lot of information here. I want to be clear. I want to just go through and summarize some of our key features. It's not nearly all of them, but some of our key features and the direct benefit that has to you and your agents. We provide compelling content that gives us high open rates and low unsubscribe rates, which is important for consistent email marketing. We email every 2 weeks, 26 times a year. The testing, we found that this is the optimal frequency. Once a week gets to be a little much, and you risk increasing the unsubscribe rate. Longer than every 2 weeks, and you might drift out of a person's top of mind because they're getting bombarded with a lot of things and a lot of things from other realtors. Agents can select those trigger articles to get warm leads. They can also select from target content categories to target a niche market, such as vacation homes, within their larger market area. We have the email exclusivity, which insulates the agent's pipeline. And by the way, if you get behind this and get your agents in the office to put in all their email contacts, it insulates your office from your competition. We have the free Organize It IT support, which helps build the agent databases. Next slide, please. Raving Fans customer support. Take the fear of not being a PC whiz away because we'll handhold you through it. We have the Home Actions Happenings and weekly webinars to help agents get the most out of it. Tracking reports so they can measure and monitor and see the improvement in their ROI. Monthly agent reports to let the agents know what they can do to improve their scores and their marketing. And last but not least, the broker report and the digital marketing Z-score that lets you monitor what your office is doing. I'm going to submit here that for branding and lead generation, we offer the best buy and the best ROI in the industry. I'm sure you're all asking now, all right, what does it cost? Well, it's surprisingly inexpensive and affordable. Our monthly plan is simply $45 a month. That's it, $45, no setup fee, setup fees waived. For $45, the agent signs up, gets their database built, gets to understand how to use their dashboard, put content in, and use the product, and gets 2 product launches. It's a wonderful deal. We also have an annual subscription for $425. Those of you that are very quick at math will notice that $425 is a better price. Yes, we do give a discount for signing up for a year. If you'd like to take advantage of these and sign up today, we have coupon codes here. You can go to our website as part of the special HeTechinar price and sign up today. Use the web code WEB95 on the monthly plan and WEB100 to get the $100 discount off of our annual plan. If you go to our website and look at the web, which is the everyday pricing on our website, you'll find out that the $425 we're offering in conjunction with RE Technology as part of the HeTechinar is $100 off of that regular price. And you'll find that we normally charge a $95 setup fee on a monthly. In addition, as part of the offer today, the social media sign-up page that's great for building your database and those target content categories, they come with everyone that's going to sign up. A lot of agents, when I'm doing this in front of them in an office, they'll say, well, I don't know, can I afford $45 a month? And the question I'll throw out to them is, can they afford not to spend that? Can they afford not to spend a few dollars a month to grow their business? And I think you all as brokers, office owners, and managers know the answer to that. We need to get them to spend intelligently to promote their business, to prospect, and do those things. What are your next steps? Go to the next slide, please. The next steps are you can actually go online at homeactions.net with the codes and order today. Or if you would like more information, if you'd like to discuss it further, or perhaps what we would love to have you do is to schedule a live webinar such as this for your entire office. A lot of your agents would probably be very interested in the product. Or we can schedule a live presentation. We do have field salespeople out there. Love to come by your office and do a presentation in person live for your whole team. So I would encourage you to try it today. Buy one for yourself. Try it if you like it. And then schedule a presentation or a live webinar for your entire office. You see the email there, sales@homeactions.net. If you'd like to discuss it further, to have us set up something special for you, you can email that. We'd love to hear from you. I will respond directly and set up whatever you'd like to. We're about 40 minutes in now. That gives us about 20 minutes. I appreciate everybody's time. I did promise Marilyn I would leave some time for a Q&A. I know we have some questions for the audience. So, Marilyn, I'm going to kick it back over to you.
Well, thank you, Lee. I thought that presentation was really interesting and I think hits on lots of the challenges that brokers face with trying to encourage each of their agents to really adopt a marketing discipline. I guess that's what I would call it. If you're talking to people every couple of weeks and you're giving them information that's relevant and targeted to what they're specifically interested in, the chances of success and the chances of them thinking of you before they may think of those other 7 agents that they know is going to be much higher. So I'm hoping everyone on the call enjoyed it as much as I did. So we have gotten a few questions, and feel free to type in over on the right-hand side. If you see in the control panel, there's a section called questions, any questions that you may have as well. So I'm going to kick off a couple that we've already gotten, and then we'll go from there. So Lee, one of the things that you talked a little bit about was, I think the concept was called trigger marketing that you mentioned. So one of the questions was about that. I'm an area, I don't know where they are, they didn't say, but they're in an area that focuses more on luxury. So they are interested in content that would focus specifically on the kinds of information that luxury higher-end houses might be interested in. So how does the newsletter get customized, or how can it be customized if somebody wants to target a specific kind of, of customer like luxury as an example?
That's a very good question. You've actually touched on 2 things. One is trigger articles, and the second is target content categories. I know they both begin with a T, they sound simpler. But a target category is simply that, a category of housing, such as urban, retirement, vacation, condos, an area in housing that a particular agent might want to target. So let's say, I'll give you an example, I'm down by the Jersey Shore. So shore and vacation homes are very big, and we have a lot of retirement communities here. in an agent in this area, I might like to use my content to go in to those target categories and select articles on vacation homes and retirement living so that I can customize my newsletter to specifically focus on my target market.
Gotcha. Okay, that's really interesting. And do you have people that currently in the 4,500 that are doing things like that successfully? I mean, how does it work for them?
Let me go back. Hold that question for a minute. Let me answer the second part of the first one, which is the trigger article. It's different because everybody to understand. Any article in the newsletter, that can be the articles you put in, like a virtual tour or one of these target categories, shore, vacation homes, retirement homes, any of those articles, any of the standard articles we put in, or any of the local content such as the calendar or the Know the Neighborhood, any article in the newsletter, you can flag to get an email alert when that article is read so that you could pick out the retirement community, the shore and vacation, and flag those as trigger because you want to know when somebody's thinking about, that type of purchase. You could also put your own virtual tour in and flag to get an alert every time somebody looks at your new listing, you just put the virtual tour in. So the two are separate, but used in conjunction, they are very powerful. And to answer this question, the agents we have are loving the combination, the trigger alerts. They're getting those alerts. The ones that are following up on them are finding out it's a great source of leads.
Perfect. Here's another one about the tracking that you showed a little bit. Tell us a little bit more about that. So as a broker, what am I going to be able to see eventually with those charts that you were showing us? What kind of effect or results can I be watching?
Well, that's a good question. What you'll be able to see is key statistics on there. You'll be able to see how many members, that's what we call it. When a person has an email contact in their database, we call them members. Our average agent has over 400 members. So you'll be able to see the list of agents for your office that are signed up for HomeActions. You'll be able to see how many members they have in their database by agent. That's why I took the names off the report we looked at. You'll see it by agent. You'll also see the average for your office, so you can tell which agents are over and underperforming. And you'll also see the average for your brand. Let's just throw out and say perhaps your Weichert. You'll be able to see for Weichert offices in general how many their agents are mailing, how many members they have in. So it's a very valuable statistic. You'll be able to see open rates. Mailing, it's one thing. Getting an open's another. So you'll be able to see the open rates. There are feedback surveys. You'll be able to see the feedback the agents are getting. One of the most key statistics that you'll get, or pieces of data, is you'll get how many email alerts. So you'll see down there, you'll see agents, wow, some of them got 3 or 4 or 5 email alerts recently. You know they're working the system, putting in that content, checking alerts. You see some agents that aren't getting any email alerts. You know that they're probably just running it on set it and forget it, or they have some questions about how to use the system. And this allows the broker to focus in on that person and say, you could be getting more if you did this. So that's some examples of the type of key information the broker will see for each of their people. And again, they'll get comparisons to their office average as a whole and to the other offices in their brand.
Great. And here's another question. Is it possible for a broker to buy this for his or her entire office?
Our subscription rate, that's a good question. Our subscription rate is per agent. So if you wanted to buy, if 10 agents wanted to buy at the $45 a month, that's $450 for a month. So it's typically bought on an agent basis. When we go out to an office, we let the agents make that decision. So we typically hold a live webinar or an office demo, and we normally get 6 or 7 out of 10 agents that see this will sign up. We have probably a 2/3, 2 out of 3 that see it sign up. That's across all offices and brands because agents recognize the value. That's our normal model. The brokers on this call are more than welcome to pass along the coupon codes to the agents in their office. Let's say, Marilyn, say you were on here, you had 20 people in your office, you wanted to go back, say this is great, sign up, give them the code, you're more than welcome to do that. And we have another way that we can do that. If a broker has an office or a group of offices and wants to sign up the entire office, we've had some people talk to us about doing that. We can work with them on the price. That's called an enterprise deal. In an enterprise deal, we can also work it so that that broker has control over some of the content. And for example, a lot of brokers do a lot of research on their local market. We can fix it so the broker can put their own content category in so that all of the agents they've signed up in their office have access to it. So we'd love the people here to go back, sign up themselves, have some of their agents sign up. But again, at that email address, sales@homeactions.net, if anyone's interested in talking about an enterprise deal for their whole office or group of offices, we'd love to talk to them about that as well.
Got it. Well, question, what are your average rates for opens, unsubscribed, bounces, et cetera? It sounds like you're doing some great tracking, so can you give people some perspective on if you work the program effectively, what kind of numbers that they might be able to expect?
I can give you some averages on that. The open rates, as you know, with email marketing, if you're getting a 10% open rate, you're doing pretty good. Our open rates actually vary by article. So we've had some recently. One I showed you on here, Know the Neighborhood, which is technically an article in every edition. The open rate approaches 1 out of 2 people open it. We had other articles, for example, 7 ways to burglar-proof your home while you're on vacation. It went ballistic. And we also approached those high open rates, which are 2 or 3 times the normal open rate. To give you an example of what can be done with that sort of thing, we had the storm out in New Jersey last year, and FEMA, probably a lot of people are aware, redid the flood elevations that impacts not only New Jersey, but Florida, the Gulf Coast, the West Coast. So a lot of people are impacted by that. We had a couple agents linked to those reports from FEMA, and they literally went viral in whole groups of places like around Atlantic City here. So it depends on the content, but generally they're much higher than they would be for normal email.
So for those who don't know what open rates are supposed to look like, getting 1 out of 2 people to click on something is amazing. That's not like normal. That's hugely amazing. So that's awesome. And I think it drives home a point that you've talked a little bit about today, Lee. That's, I think, something we want to make sure the listeners hear about, and that is that the content we're talking about here is not fluff. This is about, like the FEMA is a perfect example, or what's going on in my neighborhood, or what's an active listing that's on my street. Those kinds of things are things that they're not fluff. They're not recipes. They're not sports scores. This is stuff that is really meaningful. And not only does it help treat click-throughs, it also helps position the agent as someone that's taking the relationship with their clients really seriously. So I think that's really neat. Now here's another one about contacts. I know you mentioned the fact that only about 3 out of 10 people have contacts in one place, and I think we're all guilty of that to some degree. So if I've got contacts in, like you said, in Facebook, or I've got them on, maybe I have a CRM system, or they're in my own website, or they're on my MLS prospecting system, how do you do that? Like you really will help us, or whoever uses this, get all of those all in one place. Tell us how that works. 'Cause it's, yeah.
So Marilyn, that's a great question, and that's one, honestly, that gives a lot of agents the jitters of how exactly is this going to work. Let me relate my own case to that, because I've used our support to work through the system. I have over 1,600 contacts on LinkedIn. What they do is they sit down, you get on the phone with them. I was on the phone. They work with you. They say, please sign into your LinkedIn. They take the computer, they take over actually like we did on a webinar here, so you can see every step they're doing, and they will go and they go click, 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 and export the file. There's a place you can click in LinkedIn to export the file as a CSV, comma-separated value file. You export the file. They put it on your desktop. From the desktop, it's sent over to them. They just simply do that in a repetitive way. Literally, to download 1,600 contacts from my LinkedIn took less than 2 minutes. So we downloaded from LinkedIn,
Awesome.
From my Facebook, and they download from Facebook, and you just repeat that for every place that you have, including I have an MLS password, as most agents do. You go on there, and you can download the contacts you've saved and mailed things there, and it also includes their corporate. Sometimes you have to ask the broker's permission to pull those corporate names, but you can pull them that you've gotten from corporate as well. It's great. It's a great way of doing it. It doesn't take long, and it's really painless.
Gotcha. That's great. Just a quick question. A person says, I'm an agent, not a broker. Can I still sign up, or do I have to be a broker?
No, you can. Agents are welcome to sign up. We invite everybody to the meeting. The agents want to sign up. You're welcome to use the same price, the same coupon codes, Web 95 for the monthly and Web 100 for the annual. If you're an agent, we'd love you to go back to your office and tell the other agents about it and see if your broker might want us to come into the office.
Got it. Okay. Question, is this a contact management system? Because I have Top Producer. Would I still need that if I used HomeActions?
This is not a CRM or a contact management system. We suggest we are a content marketing system, not a contact management system. So we don't suggest that the agent replace anything they have with this. And personally, I don't suggest that they even replace things they have like constant contact right off. I suggest that you take this in addition to what you have. It works very well with what corporations are providing people. It works well with eEdge. It works well with other companies like Century 21 that have an in-house newsletter. I suggest that agents or brokers sign up for this, evaluate the product, use the product, and then they can decide themselves what else they want to turn off. I would never recommend that somebody turn off something else just when they bought ours.
Got it. Here's another one. Who owns the content once you set it up?
We own the content. However, essentially, by signing up in a subscription, we're licensing the agent to use it, which is why it comes out with their name and their branding, and they can forward it to their people and their contacts.
And is it possible for them to create their own content? And would they still own that? So if I wrote an article about my local neighborhood, or some festival that was happening, or something that I create as my own, who owns that? And can we add that?
Let me give you a two-way answer to that. If you created something, yes, you own it. You put it in My Content. We will show you how to put it in My Content, and that's your article. The second part of the question there, we do encourage people, before putting something in My Content, to make sure that they have the right to use it. If it's our content, you know it's good. But if it's not something they personally wrote, we ask them to make sure they have the right to put it in their newsletter.
Got it. And kind of related to that, about the content. So if I work in a, and I'm paraphrasing here, but if I work in a neighborhood where there may be, 4 or 5 agents that focus on that, would I be sending the same contact as somebody else to, like, would potentially one of my clients get the same content twice?
No, for 2 reasons. First of all, remember email exclusivity, and the example I used was my personal email, leesow@aol.com.
Mm-hmm.
That email, Marilyn, if you were mailing me, they would only ever see one HomeActions from you. So that's what avoids people seeing the duplicate contact. But also, let me explain, not only that, we're encouraging agents to customize this. So let's say several friends, different friends get this, and they're comparing HomeActions in the local community. We would expect it to look slightly different from the different agents due to the fact that they're customizing my content, putting in their listings, and using those target market categories to customize their newsletter.
Got it. Okay. Here's an interesting one. For many of you on the call, you may be aware of RPR, or the Realtor Property Research Tool, that's available free to you as realtors. And is it possible for me to put the zip codes from RPR reports that are relevant to my sphere of influence in my newsletter?
We have agents that are doing that. That's something our support has to do on an individual basis to show you how to do it. But again, as I showed you the young lady from Coldwell Banker, we do have many agents that are including those reports in their newsletter, in their HomeActions, and it makes a very powerful for your local market.
Got it. Okay, good. So that is something that people could do. And for those that have not seen RPR, I would highly recommend that you check it out as more on my Wave Group side of my life. I've looked at that tool in depth, and it's really super easy to use, and it produces very, very, very professional-looking reports. So, okay, one more question. If I did one of those RPR reports, could I be able to click on it and find out who actually clicked through on it? So would I be able to kind of like a trigger that I knew someone was really more serious that they were looking at market performance, to be able to know who those people were?
If you put an RPR report in as one of your content articles or my content article, you can set the flag, make it a trigger article, and you'll get an email alert every time somebody opens it.
Perfect. Okay, so I mean, to me that would indicate if somebody's looking at market performance, they're either probably thinking at some point about selling or maybe about moving in, seeing if the market is strong or not. So it's probably good on both fronts. That's great. Okay, one other question, and then I think they're kind of slowing down now, but one was, can you cancel anytime if it doesn't work, or are you committed to a year-long contract?
The contract is for a year. If there are extenuating circumstances, and we have had some of those where the person leaves the business, we will look at it on a case-by-case basis. But basically speaking, we are asking people to sign up for the year. We do give you a monthly option so you can pay month to month, or we do have an annual option so you can sign up for the year. Within the first 30 days, what we have happen a lot is people sign up for a monthly. They realize the year was a much better price. So within the first month, if you would like to, when you see it, you love it, you want to convert your month to a year, we will apply the monthly payment toward an annual subscription.
All right. Well, let me throw one question in, and then we'll finish this out. Leah, if maybe you could just, for the audience, give them their, some quick word of advice about if they want to really step up their online marketing efforts, and let's say that they want to work with you. What are the kind of 2 or 3 things that they should do to really make the most out of this effort?
What they should do is first sign up. You can't do anything with it if you don't have it. You should sign up for it. You should have your database built, and then you should do 2 things. You should go, I call it on a name quest, and I used to teach at Prudential and Keller Williams this. You should collect every email address you can as you're out there talking to people during the week. If you exchange business cards, that's considered a valid email address. Strike up a conversation at your son's soccer game. Talk to people in the grocery line at the grocery store. Let everybody in the world know that you're a realtor. Get the sign-up page button on your Facebook, your LinkedIn. Get every email address you can. Let me put a caveat there. We do not accept rented names. We are Spam Act compliant, so these must be a contact you personally had. But get every email you can and load them into the system to build that database, because it's your biggest asset. The more people you put in there, the better off you are. And remember, because of the ability to forward this, to link, for people to share articles, you're getting a much wider reach than just the person you put in. So if you put in 100, 110, 20, 30 people may be seeing what you have there. That's the first thing to do. That's your foundation. The second thing is to do, put in that content, put in that RPR report, put in your open houses, put in your latest listing. Even if you don't have a virtual tour, put in information about your latest listing. Put in the fact that you do CMA reports for your local market. Get your content out there. Be focused on your local market. And finally, after you put your own content in, take advantage of those target categories such as vacation, shore, urban, condo, retirement, so that the people in your area know that you're a realtor focused on their needs. You put the names in, you add your content, you use our content category to focus your target of the newsletter, and you'll get results.
Okay. Well, one other quick question, and then we'll let everybody run. Is there a limit on the number of email addresses allowed? I have a really large database, according to this person.
There is a limit on, as long as they are your contacts, again, not rent. There is no limit to what you could put in, and on a monthly basis, where some programs like Constant Contact, the more you email every month, the more they charge. We don't have any additional charge for the number you email every month.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much, Lee. This has been very, very informative, and I hope that the listeners today found some real value in it, and that they go back to HomeActions.net and sign up using those 2 coupon codes, monthly Web 95 and the annual price for Web 100, or contact sales at HomeActions.net, and they can give you a full presentation and help you learn more about it. Thank you so much, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful day.